Tonight, Remembrance Day.
I think it's that we should all reflect on what Remembrance Day actually is to us. Like, I know for me, it really hits home because, like, I miss my grandpa that was in the Army.
Stories of service.
My daughter's in Lafayette with the Army right now.
And sacrifice. Across the region. New rules.
Having the extra alarms is what will save your life.
For situations when seconds count.
You'll get that alert quicker, and you can get out of the house quicker.
Ontario's changing regulations for carbon monoxide detectors in homes. Approved with hesitation.
It's difficult for me as a human to put profit over people.
A neighborhood rezoning decision that left some Kitchener councillors feeling
Developers can appeal, and they do most of the time.
their hands were tied. Pausing to remember. Ceremonies across the country this morning to honor Canada's war dead. Good evening. At the 11th hour, on the 11th day of the 11th month, we remember them as thousands attend the poignant National Remembrance Day ceremony in Ottawa. CTV's Abigail Beeman begins our coverage.
They came to Ottawa from coast to coast.
We have so many Newfoundlanders and who've passed through the wars.
I feel we owe a debt of gratitude to those servicemen and women who, from the past, the present, and the future.
There's a heaviness, knowing each year fewer and fewer are at the national ceremony like Elmer Friesen, here from Calgary at 103. Second World War veterans now number fewer than 4,000.
I'm so glad that my son thought I should come here to experience this alive. So moving.
If we don't remember, well, the world's enough of a mess. You can see what happens when we don't.
Time marches on. Now we have to remember our newer veterans, ones returning from Afghanistan, Bosnia, and the newer conflicts, and what we're facing today.
My transition's been pretty good. I have good days, bad days. To be here today is something that I've always wanted to do.
A service imbued with meaning. The Silver Cross mother, Nancy Payne, remembers son Randy, killed in Afghanistan. Weather so miserable, the traditional fly past replaced by a single helicopter. But still, they stood.
Do you want to stand up? Yes, I do.
Elmer Friesen determined to lay a poppy on the tomb of the unknown soldier for his late brother.
They sacrificed so many guys and never came home. And here I am sitting here and people are admiring me for, and it was a privilege for me to be in the service.
It has become a tradition to lay a poppy here after the ceremony, a small but impactful gesture, leaving a striking red tribute to all those who served and those who gave their lives for Canada. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Similar scenes in Waterloo Region, where thousands lined the streets and gathered at cenotaphs. CTV's Ashley Bacon reports.
Marching along Regina Street this morning ahead of a Remembrance Day ceremony at City Hall in Waterloo. The crowd welcoming veterans and active military members as they arrived.
I think it's that we should all reflect on what Remembrance Day actually is to us. Like, I know for me, it really hits home because, like, I miss my grandpa that was in the Army and in the armed forces, and seeing all these veterans, it's like amazing.
Large crowds of people taking time to be present for the fallen.
I think it was a beautiful ceremony and certainly one of the largest turnouts that I've seen. It's always really moving to see really young children to the very eldest and veterans here. And I think Waterloo really showed up in a big way this morning.
To those who are still in uniform, serving in all three branches of the Canadian Forces, including my daughter's in Lafayette with the Army right now. But on a day like today is certainly for the veterans and their families.
Similar scenes in Kitchener, where thousands also attended the ceremony there. The day, a time to reflect on what was and what is to come.
Yeah, well, it's really important as we go forward to remember our past, but know that the future is before us too, and we have to really be vigilant, and it's important for Canadians to recognize the fact that we need a strong military going forward.
We are living in some very uncertain times. I think maybe there's perhaps a bit more of a reality around like just how important it is to make sure that our communities and our country are safe and secure.
Ashley Bacon, CTV News, Waterloo.
Later on CTV News, the Poppy Project. Jeff Pickle will have the story and the people behind this bridge. That's coming up later in the newscast. But right now, let's get a check on the weather as we head over to Alex Pinto now for our first look. I feel like Remembrance Day is always one of those iffy days weather-wise. We get rain, or it's sunny, or we can get snow, a little bit of everything. And today we kind of felt like we were in transition as far as the weather goes.
Yeah, we were definitely. And in terms of temperature-wise too, we are still definitely below that seasonal mark as well. So if you did head out to any Remembrance Day ceremonies, definitely layering up, having a couple of coats, maybe a scarf was a good idea out there today. Getting into the rest of the evening though, chance to see a little bit of light snow as we look at our satellite and radar map. Right now we're just seeing mainly some cloud cover over Kitchener, Waterloo in particular, but we could also potentially see a little bit of freezing drizzle later on tonight as well. Temperature-wise, we are starting to dip down once again. 0 here in KW, also 0 in London this hour. Many other areas sitting between 1 and 2 degrees. Our high here in the city of Kitchener was 2. That was set at about 1 o'clock this afternoon. So with that said, like we said, maybe a chance for a little bit of a freezing drizzle risk before we could start to see a little bit of a warm up, back to seasonal conditions again. And with that, some more wet weather could be on the way. So we're going to break that all down a little bit later. Tony.
Okay, Alex, thank you very much. Updates to the Ontario Fire Code surrounding carbon monoxide safety will be rolling out in the new year. Now, the new rules will require additional alarms in all residential spaces with potential sources of the deadly gas. CTV's Alexandra Hollick looking into this, joining us live now. Alexandra, what exactly is changing?
Well, Tony, right now the Ontario Fire Code requires a carbon monoxide alarm next to every sleeping area. But starting January 1st, an alarm will be required on every story, not just those with bedrooms. This sound can save your life.
Carbon monoxide, you don't know when it's at a high level in your house. The only way to tell is when your alarm goes off.
Carbon monoxide is a colorless, tasteless, and odorless gas that comes with serious consequences. In December 2023, a 25-year-old man died from an accidental poisoning caused by a car left running in a Kitchener garage.
We're still seeing people pass away. And they have found that, having the extra alarms is what will save your life.
Right now, the rules state that any residential space with a fuel-burning appliance, fireplace, or attached garage must have a carbon monoxide alarm near a bedroom. But come January 1st, that will expand to all stories and include spaces heated by air from an exterior fuel-burning source, such as a furnace in a building service room. And for apartments and condos, that also includes public corridors.
With it on every story, you'll get that alert quicker and you can get out of the house quicker.
The alarms shouldn't be placed in attached garages.
CO alarms and smoke alarms won't work in a garage. There's a lot of humidity, there's a lot of dirt, and honestly, when you start your car, that will set the alarm off.
But they should be replaced every 5 to 10 years.
This option here has the integrated battery that lasts the lifetime of the product.
Systems to identify the silent killer are often sold in hardware stores.
We have a pretty good selection of them. There's probably 6 or 7 different models here, and most of the staff here knows about them. If people have questions, they can come in and we're happy to explain.
Prices range from just under $40 to around $80. While some may be more high-tech than others, they all serve the same purpose.
All the other ones are going to chirp at you if they detect carbon monoxide.
And when you hear this sound,
please get out of the house and call 911.
residents are encouraged to get ahead and check their alarms now and install any additional units before the new rules take effect in the new year. Tony.
Alexander Hollick reporting. Thank you. It's a big decision surrounding a big development. Late last night, Kitchener Council approved an industrial park that's planned to go next to the Huron Natural Area. Community pushback was fueled by the site's proximity to one of the city's largest natural spaces. CTV's Spencer Turcott has a reaction to the vote.
Not the result Yvonne Fernandez and Ray Angod were hoping for.
Disappointment, but not surprising.
The pair were leading the push to get Kitchener Council to shut down plans to build an industrial park next to the Huron Natural Area. In the end, councillors voted 8-2 in favor of the proposal.
Anything that is industrial that we know is going to have an implication. Parking lots and driveways and rooftops, they all have runoff.
The land in question is adjacent to the Huron Natural Area. The city decided to sell it in 2018, and it is zoned for industrial use, meaning
this private landowner already has the necessary designation of usage on this parcel to proceed forward with a manufacturing development.
In fact, it's been zoned industrial since the 80s, and Councillor Scott Davies says the landowner
could have went ahead and built a giant Amazon-style warehouse at any time without talking to City Council, without talking to the public and getting their input.
Instead, developer Gateman Malloy had to go to Council because they wanted to divide the space up to build an industrial park with 10 smaller buildings. That gave councillors a say, and citizens tried to shift their thinking.
It is a tactic I've seen in the past. You know, you look at the worst case scenario. This is the worst thing that could have happened.
We have so many vacant industrial spaces throughout Kitchener already, especially in that area. So what are we really adding to the community?
Part of the plan does include a created habitat, buffer, and wetland adjacent to the Huron Natural Area, with several acres of land conveyed back to the city. That's why councillors were hesitant to vote against the plan.
We might not have got those 12 acres of new open land park space donated to the city if they didn't go through this process. It's been twisted into some sort of belief that we're actually going to be, risking or damaging this area, which could not be further from the truth.
Fernandez and Angod are two of the many Kitchener residents dedicated to making sure the city stays true to that promise.
We will be watching with lots of people on site to see what the next steps are. And I think we're going to investigate what other avenues we have.
Spencer Turcott, CTV News Kitchener.
An update tonight to a story we first brought you last week. A London, Ontario couple living in Jamaica had not been heard from after Hurricane Melissa hit. Well, tonight, their family says Richard and Diane Kitching are safe after surviving the storm. CTV's Rita Ismail has their update.
It's been 2 weeks since Hurricane Melissa battered Jamaica, leaving behind widespread destruction and uncertainty. Among those caught in the chaos, Canadian couple Richard and Diane Kitching, whose island home took a direct hit.
They were underneath the porch, exposed to the elements in the wind, trying to decide what their next move was going to be, and the phone cut out.
For days, their family back here in London had no idea if they had made it through.
Worried sick, just waiting on pins and needles. I had no idea if they were injured, if, God forbid, that they were even alive. I had no idea.
Relief finally came through social media, confirming the couple had survived. Their son Jason spoke with them for the first time last week.
The whole house is on a slant now because it was blown off its footings. Such powerful winds, but it blew a whole house over. The bedroom still has a roof over it, and they were able to put blocks under their bed to make it level.
And the stove as well.
So they're
running on a generator.
Yeah, they're still living up there, kind of just getting by.
In response to the devastation, the Canadian Red Cross has deployed emergency medical teams to help people like the Kitchings.
We already had pre-positioned emergency stock, so blankets, hygiene parcels, food, etc., throughout the country anticipating this hurricane, and so those were distributed immediately and started to actually provide medical assistance, some psychosocial assistance, referrals to medical centers, transportation, ambulances, those kind of elements. So that is now being scaled up through the Canadian Red Cross medical team.
In the meantime, the Kitchings have launched a GoFundMe to help rebuild their home and their lives. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
Early hints about what the upcoming flu season could bring. CTV's health reporter Pauline Chan with new data out of Australia that doctors here are keeping an eye on. That's coming up.
I'm Karis Mapp with a Kitchener councillor's reaction to a rezoning approval. City Council voted in favor of the bylaw amendment allowing for development of a new 6-unit building, but leaving 2 current tenants searching for a place to live. That story is just ahead.
Chance for some light snow and even freezing drizzle as we look ahead to the rest of the evening. I'll let you know when we could see some more wet weather, plus that sunshine make a return in your full forecast a little later.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVKitchener.ca, your home for news.
A rezoning decision in a Kitchener neighborhood isn't sitting well with some of the very city councillors who voted to approve it. The decision will allow a developer to replace a duplex on Woodhaven Drive with a 6-plex, displacing the current tenants during the work. CTV's Karis Mapp is live with more. Karis, some councillors, in fact, everyone last night noting that they're bound by planning considerations here. What are residents saying?
Well, Tony, neither of the tenants who were home to speak in person, but I knocked on multiple doors along Woodhaven Road. No one was comfortable going on camera, but many neighbors said they're not happy with council's decision. One woman who's lived in the area for 65 years told me she worries the situation will set a new precedent for other property owners.
Disappointed. I'm not surprised, and I don't fault council for voting for it.
Ward 3 Kitchener councillor Jason Deneau standing his ground after City Council voted in favor of the property rezoning request at 137 Woodhaven Road.
We have responsibilities. Doesn't mean I have to agree with some of the policies that are set forward and some of the planning policies.
Now, developers have the go-ahead to proceed with plans to replace the current duplex with a 6-unit building. During Monday's meeting, not all councillors agreed, but many said the approval was almost inevitable, whether by them or the Ontario Land Tribunal following an appeal.
Not a lot of people know how the whole system works, and they believe that we have full carte blanche rights to say no, and then that's the end. But at the end of the day, developers can appeal, and they do most of the time.
In an emailed statement to CTV News, one of the current tenants who has lived in the duplex for almost a decade said their family is broken over council's decision, adding this approval has made them all homeless. In another statement to CTV News, the property owner said the planned project is rooted in responsible renewal because the building is aging and nearing the end of its useful life. But Councillor Deneau said he isn't convinced.
We have old homes in the city of Kitchener. If they're looked after and they're maintained, they don't have to be at the end of their life.
Michael Lau's statement continued to note he empathizes with the tenants, but there has been transparency about the project since the beginning.
I appreciate we need more housing. It's difficult for me as a human to put profit over people.
Residents CTV Kitchener spoke with while door knocking along Woodhaven Road Tuesday afternoon say they fear this opens the door for other property owners to follow suit.
But I definitely think the system is broken, and it didn't happen overnight. But there are policies and legislation I think we need to put in place to protect tenants a little bit more than we have right now.
In that emailed statement from the property owner, Michael Lau added that he hasn't started the municipal permit application process and there's no immediate impact to the current tenants following last night's approval. Tony.
Karis Mapp, thank you for that. Experts are predicting a nasty flu season after seeing Australia's experiences over the summer. CTV's Pauline Chan has more on that.
Canadian experts are saying the message from down under is get your flu shots now.
They had a very, very bad year, one of the worst years on record. And the reason that occurs is a combination of factors that we don't completely understand, but it does have to do with how many people are unvaccinated and it's susceptible, and the specific strain of flu that's circulating that year. And just as a reminder, you're not protected for this year's strain from last year's vaccination.
The Australian data published in September showed that this season, the flu vaccine reduced the risk of hospitalization by half.
Dr. Jerome Lee says each year Canada sees 15,000 to 20,000 hospitalizations for influenza and 3,000 to 4,000 deaths.
They had their lowest vaccine rates in Australia for like the past 5 years. So again, that's not a coincidence. If you underachieve in vaccination, you have a tougher season, and in particular, you see more hospitalizations and deaths.
He says Sunnybrook and other Ontario hospitals are already seeing a jump in flu cases a good 2 weeks earlier than usual.
The challenge here is that if flu season's already upon us, and especially if it comes a month earlier, we will be less prepared, and there could be significant impacts to the healthcare system. It takes 14 days for the flu vaccine to take full effect. We really don't have much time to get vaccines into arms.
Everyone over age 6 months is encouraged to get their free flu shot, and high-dose flu shots are available for seniors. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
A live look from Preston at this hour on a rather chilly Tuesday evening. Alex is back with our full forecast in just a few minutes, and also coming up, a closer look at poppy projects, how some of our local communities have brought together some very visible displays of remembrance in honor of those who've made the ultimate sacrifice, and protecting those who've stood up to protect the country on this Remembrance Day. New research to better understand the mental toll of service. Alex is live with our forecast now, and as we sort of recap how the day went and look ahead to the rest of the week, one thing that you did note that stands out in my mind, still felt chilly.
Yes, it did.
Chilly, damp, kind of gets right into the bones out there in this kind of weather, doesn't it?
Yes, it does for sure, and you'd want to layer up, but we got a little bit of that sunshine, which was pretty nice to see, and it kind of helped maybe, I don't want to say actually warm things up, because it wasn't a warm day out there. It was not.
Did I hear Leanne mention it felt milder earlier in the day? Because that must have been the time of the day I wasn't outside at all.
No, but even just looking back at the hours, it was not.
Okay.
It was chillier still this morning.
Mind over matter when the sun, chose to make its selective appearances.
When you're in that direct sunlight, it really it helps a little bit. And like you said, a little bit of a mood boost, a little bit things to look forward to before, we're enjoying a lot of cloud cover out there right now. And as we take a live look outside from the Cenotaph in Preston, this hour it is quite dark. That sun going down 5:01 p.m. officially now. So tomorrow it should hit about 5 o'clock or so, which, we're still maybe not 100% used to the time change, but even though we go through it every year, it always seems to be a little bit of a shock to the system, if you will. But in terms of temperature-wise, cooler conditions are sticking with us for a little bit before we should be getting back up to seasonal, which we'll get into in just a moment. Getting into the rest of the evening, though, there is a chance for some light snow for some areas right across southwestern Ontario as we get into the overnight evening, too. As well for us here in Waterloo Region, potentially we could see some, some freezing drizzle also into the overnight. So it's not until Wednesday, tomorrow, we can start to see things warm up slightly. And with that, some wet weather could be on the way. So you definitely want to plan out any walks or outdoor plans that you might have. Bring the rain boots, the rain jacket, keep it all handy nearby as well. So getting into the rest of your Thursday, we could see some mixing conditions. That is possible before the system makes its way towards the east. And by Friday is when we potentially could see a little bit of sunshine return and, again, closer to seasonal conditions. Temperature-wise across the province right now, just to compare, -4 rather in Moosonee, -1 in Pickle Lake. It is -3 this hour in Timmins. Goderich sitting at 2, Mount Forest 1. Many of us sitting between 0 and 2 degrees, a little bit more further in the southwest this hour. Again, as we mentioned, 0 right now here for Kitchener, Waterloo. It's also 0 in Hamilton. And yes, getting into the overnight, potentially we could be dropping down to -2 in terms of our overnight low. That cloud cover expected to stick with us, and again, chance of flurries, potentially light snow we could also see, and a freezing drizzle risk is also in place. So if you do have to be out on the roads a little bit later, early in the morning, just keep that in mind. It might be a little bit slick out there. Tomorrow, 4 degrees is our expected daytime high. We should see some light snow, possibly some rain, if not some mixing conditions. So showers in particular, late morning hours, that's what we're seeing at this point as being a possibility. So normal for this time is 6 degrees, so we're definitely below seasonal for this time of year. That sun rising now, 7:10 in the morning, and as we mentioned, that sun going down tonight, 5:01 p.m. officially now. So over the next several days, once we can see potentially some mixing for your Wednesday, a chance for a bit of wet weather. Rolling in for your Thursday, high of 5 degrees expected. So Friday I would say maybe a few weeks ago, I wouldn't say, wow, 7 degrees feels really nice, Tony, but I think it will feel nice with a little bit of sunshine for your Friday. It could. So hopefully we get a little bit of sunshine, vitamin D to stick around for wrapping up the end of the week. For Lambton, Kent, and Essex, some flurries or rain possible as we look ahead to tomorrow, high of 7. And then Thursday and Friday, it looks like you're going to be in for a couple of days of sunshine, high of 9, even getting into the double digits for a couple of days, 10, 12, 13 degrees possible for your daytime highs. And southern Georgian Bay, some cloud cover expected to build tomorrow with the chance for a bit of wet weather. 6 degrees is your expected daytime high, and then a slight chance for some wet weather looking ahead to your Thursday and Friday at this point. And here is tonight's Weather Watcher picture, a display of poppies on the lawn of Laurelwood Public School in Waterloo earlier today. This was sent to us by Teresa Palmer, who says students actually made the poppies and teachers placed them on the front lawn there this morning. Snow and all, beautiful display and a great way to honor this Remembrance Day as well. So thank you so much for sharing this and being tonight's Weather Watcher picture. Beautiful, beautiful shot.
Thank you to everyone at Laurelwood, and kind of striking too how the poppies really pop out against the white of the snow that's still on the ground.
Yeah, I know many of us might not be a fan of winter-like weather, I would say this early, but it is a beautiful display.
For these purposes, we definitely approve.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Alex, thank you.
Thank you.
As we honor the men and women who serve this country, there is acknowledgement of the physical and mental toll that military service can take. Researchers are working to understand the impacts on the brain to better protect and treat service members and veterans. And now a high-profile Canadian is enlisting to help. CTV's Natalie Johnson explains.
It's about 5K.
Down on the boardwalk by his East End home, Aaron O'Toole still maintains a quick pace in life after politics.
When I run, I generally go to the volleyball courts.
The former federal Conservative leader harnesses physical activity to support brain health, grateful that he never suffered a brain injury during his years of service in the military.
Our veterans serve, and many of them come back with injuries, both physical, mental, some aren't visible. And traumatic brain injury is something that we're really starting to understand.
Now, in this time of remembrance, O'Toole is pledging to donate his brain when he dies to Project Enlist. Research conducted by the Concussion Legacy Foundation to better understand the impact of military service on the brain.
You first think of the roadside bomb and, the light armored vehicle and the concussion, but it doesn't have to be that dramatic.
It's this revelation that it's not just concussions, it's the cumulative non-concussive impacts over time that people sustain during the course of their service that can end up leading to mental health issues, neurodegenerative disease, CTE.
Even though O'Toole didn't suffer head trauma during his time in the military, his brain can serve as a baseline or control for the testing. So far, more than 500 veterans have pledged to donate their brains for research.
I think we need to make sure we have the best protection, headgear and other things for our men and women in uniform. And we have to find treatment methods to reduce injury and treat it early so that there can be a quality of life.
Quality of life that is so critical year-round, well after Canadians take off their poppies when the Remembrance Day ceremony ends.
I hope this donation will take place a long time in the future, but I want to be part of something that is so positive.
Arming the Canadian military with research that will help to better educate and equip, another step forwards in supporting those who serve. Natalie Johnson, CTV News.
So it turns out we haven't heard the last of what's on offer from the Bay. Coming up, the effort to auction off some of the historic retailers' prized possessions.
I'm Heather Center. An extension granted. Ontario and the federal government have agreed to a one-year extension for the national $10 a day childcare program. We'll have reaction from a local parent and a childcare provider just ahead.
With Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and the holiday season just around the corner, the rising cost of living in Canada is expected to challenge spending habits this year. A new survey by insolvency firm Harris & Partners suggests Canadians are preparing for a more modest Christmas. Nearly 72% of the more than 1,800 Canadians surveyed in November say they will cut back on Christmas spending, and 85% expect to adhere to a strict budget this season. More than half of those polled also reported feeling financially unprepared for the holidays. Well, the province and the feds have agreed to a one-year extension on the national $10 a day childcare program. The program currently has fees down to an average of around $19 a day in Ontario. And the whole thing was set to expire at the end of March, raising the fees. Now it's going to be around for at least another year. CTV's Heather Centerin joining us now live with local reaction. Heather, I imagine a lot of relief for parents and providers to hear this.
Parents and providers now know what to expect for at least the next year, Tony, as it was a waiting game until then, until the extension was granted. Kitchener parent Kylie White's 2.5-year-old goes to Rising Oaks' newest center at St. Patrick Catholic School. But it wasn't easy securing a spot.
Yeah, it was hard to find a spot in daycare anywhere. We went through several care providers before we ended up here.
The Ontario and federal government agreed to a one-year extension on the $10 a day program, which is a relief for some parents.
I think it's great that there's a one-year extension, but I think there needs to be more than a one-year extension. Hopefully it can be a permanent thing at some point.
The CEO of Rising Oak says the one-year extension is good for providers as well.
It really is good news for the sector at large. It safeguards the momentum that we built in the CWALC program.
The alternative was the program expiring at the end of March, which was hard for childcare providers to plan around.
We have a couple of expansion projects here at Rising Oaks that it was creating some risk in terms of whether those projects would be disrupted.
Prospero says the next 12 months should be used wisely to keep the system sustainable. She suggests things like a wage grid for early childhood educators.
So that's just one of the key pieces that we need to focus on. The other would be infrastructure funding to support building those new spaces and helping to reduce the red tape in those processes. So work to be done over this 12 months, but a good start for sure.
The agreement also includes $695 million in additional funding from Ottawa. But the money isn't enough to lower the average childcare cost closer to the $10 mark. So it will stay at the provincial average of around $19 and capped at $22.
I think we pay $22 a day. But if it was $10 a day, it would definitely help. Everything's becoming more and more expensive right now.
Last month, the province's Auditor General released a report saying that there's an estimated nearly $2 billion funding shortfall for the program expected in the next 2 years, adding that without additional federal or provincial funding, parent fees would likely need to increase. Tony.
Okay, some important information on that program. Heather, thank you. CTV's Heather Centerin live with that update. And let's recap our top stories with Leanne Evans in studio with us. Now, Leanne, Remembrance Day and ceremonies held all around the region and right across the country today.
Right, Tony. Thousands of people lined the streets and gathered at cenotaphs to pay their respects and remember the sacrifices made by Canadians on the battlefield. Somber ceremonies were held in Kitchener, Waterloo, Cambridge, Guelph, and in other local communities. The 11th day of the 11th month of the 11th hour was marked with a moment of silence. This Remembrance Day also marks 8 decades since the end of the Second World War. Late last night, Kitchener Council approved an industrial park that is planned to go next to the Huron Natural Area. Community pushback was fueled by the site's proximity to the city's largest natural space, but councillors were worried that shutting down the proposal would mean the city didn't get any protections back in the matter. The plan includes a created habitat, buffer, and wetland adjacent to the Huron Natural Area. In the end, councillors voted 8-2 in favor of the proposal.
And Leanne, on our website, our digital team's got an update a lot of people have been waiting for ever since we announced there were finally going to be trains out of Kitchener, GO trains right out of Kitchener on the weekend, and you've got some new details now on that.
Yes, so there will be full GO train service from Kitchener to Toronto on the weekend, helping commuters get to the city and back. The new schedule starts on November 23rd. To see the train time departures, you can scan the QR code, download the CTV News app, or go to ctvnewskitchener.ca. Some good news here, Tony.
Oh, I'll just say it. I'm probably going to use it at some point.
Me too.
Definitely handy.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Leanne.
Thanks.
Well, the public is getting its first look at a number of pieces of art formerly owned by a Canadian retail institution. Dozens of paintings owned by the Hudson Bay Company will go up for auction next week. CTV's Janice Golding has a look.
Adrian Aubert is a really great piece. Christmas at Morgan's. Morgan's was the department store. But
Robert Heffel shows us some marquee pieces from the Hudson Bay Company's collection.
The Hudson's Bay commissioned well-known Canadian artists to paint historical scenes for their calendars, and they would keep the original calendar painting. And so these are some of the Canadian artists that they chose in the calendar paintings. And
27 fine art paintings from the historic company's 4,400 item collection that will be going to the highest bidder next week.
It's a fabulous collection. It's kind of documents the history of Canada, the development of the Hudson Bay, and it's a walk through Canadian art history and a walk through Canadian history.
Previews of the collection were held in cities across the country, with Toronto starting today.
It's like going to a beautiful gallery, only it's all very edited and curated, and it's absolutely stunning.
Among the favorites, Lights of a City Street, a picture of Toronto in the 1890s by Canadian artist Frederick Marlett Bell Smith.
the artist has put himself into the painting. This is the artist. These are the newspaper sellers. This is the artist's son.
And I'm old enough to remember the Big Bell Smith when it was at Simpsons in the Acadia Court. I often saw that painting. Everyone in my age saw the painting, so that's the one I'm really excited about seeing.
The piece garnering the most attention, however, is one of a series former UK Prime Minister Winston Churchill painted of Marrakesh.
He gave a Marrakesh painting to the U.S. president that later was sold for $1 million, but then it's sold. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie put it up for auction in their divorce, and it sold in Canadian dollars for $16 million.
The bidding will start at 3 p.m. next Wednesday at Heffel's dedicated auction ballroom in Yorkville.
This is how a modern-day fine art auction works. It's the merger between the traditional to the innovative, and this is the technology that pilots Heffel auction.
A long day with auctioneers dealing with telephone, online, and live bidding from 4 different catalogs.
We'll have our pen in our right hand and our gavel in our left, and we'll be looking for bids in the audience, but our device is here. It's a tremendous lot of fun.
Proceeds from ongoing auctions will help HBC's creditors recover some of the nearly $1 billion they're owed. Janice Golding, CTV News.
Kicking off another hockey season. Coming up, the Toronto Scepters now training for year 3 with their eyes on the PWHL's Walter Cup. The Toronto Scepters kicked off their training camp today ahead of the 3rd PWHL season. Their first preseason game is Sunday, and as CTV's Sean Leathong tells us, the team has its eyes on the Walter Cup.
At the start of training camp, Toronto Scepter star Natalie Spooner says the third year in the Professional Women's Hockey League is about growth.
I think every year it's like you want to make it bigger and better than it was the year before. And I think after the first year, we thought, wow, how is the second year going to be even able to keep up with the first year? But then we saw the second year and all the, the games that sold out so fast and what we were able to do in that year. So I think, now with expansion and there's just so much more excitement too.
This year, the PWHL is expanding from 6 to 8 teams, adding clubs in Vancouver and Seattle.
The PWHL is expanding, and that's just so good for our sport in general. I think the more teams there are, there's more fans, there's more accessibility around the whole world.
Toronto lost Sarah Nurse to free agency and 3 more players in the expansion draft.
It definitely feels like there's some changes, but heading into season 3, I think we've built a really solid foundation over the last 2 years.
There are 15 returning players from last season. For a team that wanted to win the ultimate prize, they'll be working to gel quickly.
We have so many new players on our team and in our locker room that I think our identity is going to be something that we're working on here over the next few weeks.
But as the league grows and rosters change quickly, players who have worked so hard to get this league off the ground say now is only about that one goal.
I think it's a win now league. Year 1, you're just taking it all in. You always want to win, but year 1, you're just taking it in. Year 2, you're hungrier, and you still don't win the Walter Cup. Year 3, you want to win it, so you're going to put everything out there to win.
Obviously, our goal coming in is we want to win the Walter Cup. We've, fallen short the last 2 years, but I think we also realized that the start of our last 2 seasons has got away from us.
And the Scepters will have to move quickly as training camp is just a week and a half long, with the season starting on November 21st against the 2-time defending Walter Cup champion, Minnesota Frost. Sean Leathong, CTV News.
And we'll have more news in a moment. First, over to the weather wall. Let's check in with Alex.
A cloud cover is still with us and a chance to see a little bit of light snow, possible flurry condition, and of course some freezing drizzle as we get into the overnight. We'll take a look at how things could be first thing in the morning in Wake Up Weather coming up after the break. Here's your Tuesday night lineup. Stick around for E-Talk before The Big Bang Theory at 7:30. Then at 8, it's Master Chef Canada, and then The Traders before The Pit.
Tonight, a blockbuster twist in a W5 investigation that exposed a global network of sexual predators.
Ain't no pill gonna cure this ill. Behind bars is gonna stop it.
A man we nicknamed Henri uploaded videos of his wife.
He deserves to get caught. He needs to be caught.
We reveal how W5's evidence has put a man behind bars in Geneva, Switzerland. Tonight on CTV National News and ctvnews.ca.
It's Jeff, KP, and Backstage Ben in the morning.
3 awesome people that want to start your day or finish your overnight shift.
You'll laugh, you'll text, you'll call, you'll scratch your head, and maybe even beat Backstage Ben. Weekday mornings from 5:30 to 10.
Listen live on the iHeartRadio app or at 105.3 Virgin Radio.
All right, it is Remembrance Day, and coming up later tonight, we're going to have another story on that theme. Leanne's here now with a preview. Leanne.
Tony, a project is putting Remembrance Day in focus in Brantford and paying tribute to local veterans. Last year, the city asked the public for information about war casualties who were missing from the Brant War Memorial. Well, now 23 more names have been added to that memorial, including those who served in the Second and First World Wars. We'll have more on their stories at 11:30. Tony.
Looking forward to that. Leanne, thank you so much. And Alex, wake up weather. How's it looking for the 12th of November tomorrow?
Not amazing.
Not
completely terrible. Okay, we're going to get a sneak peek for tomorrow morning. Yeah, 6 a.m. Some scattered flurries. Scattered flurries possible. We're going to be sitting around 0. So if you are an early riser, maybe get the dog out before taking the kids to the bus stop. It's going to be a little bit of a chilly one. By 10, we should be hitting around 2. Possibly some mixing conditions. Again, overnight is when we potentially could see, and later this evening, the chance for some freezing drizzle. So if you do have to be out on the roads a little bit later this evening, overnight into the early morning hours, just something to keep in mind. Maybe play it safe, slow down out on the roads just in case.
Have the scraper handy just in case. The wind and the snow can sometimes freeze up. I found that out on the weekend.
Yeah, and it takes a little bit to scrape off the car. We almost forgot about what that's like.
It's the workout we remind ourselves about every year. That's right. Well, finally, as we look at some touching ceremonies of remembrance, we also visit some local communities that went above and beyond to remember.
In Stratford and St. Mary's, tens of thousands of handmade poppies are on display. CTV's Jeff Pickle has the story behind them.
The familiar and touching sights and sounds of remembrance in Stratford, but with a very special backdrop.
This is our third year of our poppy project, and just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
For the last 3 years, local volunteers have amassed over 30,000 handmade poppies.
And whether you made 2 poppies or 1,000 poppies, it didn't matter. Every poppy counted. And yeah, the community just gets behind it more and more every year.
Their goal to show love and respect for Canadians who served and sacrificed.
And when you walk across the bridge and when you see the poppies, it brings both smiles and tears.
To those who organize the formal ceremony of remembrance, it makes the day a community celebration.
And it reassures everyone, and it reassures the veterans that are still here that what they did isn't going to be forgotten anytime soon.
Stratford also adding a veterans crosswalk in front of the cenotaph.
Well, I think remembrance really needs to be every day of the year. And when we have the crosswalk and when we have these beautiful quilted poppies across the bridge.
And the Poppy Project inspiring other communities, including nearby St. Mary's, who covered the Queen Street Bridge.
I've had people reach out to me from British Columbia and New Brunswick just asking how we went about it. So yeah, it's definitely spreading.
A simple act of love.
It's pretty inspiring, yeah. When you drive down York Street and see that cedar hedge covered in totally red, it can bring tears to your eyes.
Promising to never forget. Jeff Pickle, CTV News, Stratford.
And we have much more Remembrance Day coverage over on our website. You'll also find the full ceremony from the Kitchener Cenotaph. We live streamed it this morning. You can watch the entire thing over there, as well as photo galleries from Kitchener and Waterloo's ceremonies. And again, that's over on the website, ctvnewskitchener.ca. And of course, from all of us, thank you to all of you who serve and to all of you who are members of military families honoring the sacrifices of your loved ones. It is a day indeed where we remember.
Yeah, and great to highlight these important stories that we get to continue to share.
And we'll have more of them tonight at 11:30. We'll see you then. Have a good night.
Take care.